Who actually keeps your medical practice running? If you're a medical executive drowning in scheduling, insurance verification, and EMR management, you know the answer isn't your clinical team. The truth is, finding a medical executive assistant who understands healthcare compliance and can handle complex administrative workflows is harder than ever in 2026. In this video, we're breaking down the ultimate guide to finding your perfect medical executive assistant, comparing healthcare-specific agencies, global platforms, costs, and what actually matters when you make the hire. Let's get into it. Medical executives face a constant balancing act of administrative tasks piling up. Just look at this mountain of tasks: scheduling, incredibly complex insurance verification, medical billing, wrestling with EMRs. It is completely overwhelming clinical directors everywhere. And worse, it's forcing doctors to play receptionist. Let's be honest, a doctor is literally the most expensive administrative help you could possibly have. On top of that, sourcing this kind of talent locally is just becoming incredibly difficult and way too expensive. Here's our roadmap to solve this headache. We'll start with the practice management problem, then healthcare-specific staffing solutions, general remote talent platforms, comparing costs and features, and finally, choosing your ideal agency. Starting off with the practice management problem and finding the right medical executive assistant. Turning to specialized staffing agencies has really emerged as the modern solution to overcoming that bottleneck we just talked about. To make sense of the market, it helps to put the top agencies into two distinct buckets. On one side, you have your healthcare-specific agencies, Pearl Talent, Medva, Teem, and Edge. These platforms bring deep medical expertise, including healthcare terminology, compliance knowledge, and clinical workflows. On the other side, you have general remote platforms that happen to have really strong medical capabilities like Persona, Stellar Staff, and Wing Assistant. These offer business operations advantages, global talent access, scalability, and cost efficiency. Understanding the split is basically the key to finding your perfect operational match. Moving into healthcare-specific staffing solutions that are built entirely for medicine. These first platforms are completely dedicated to the strict compliance needs and the unique clinical workflows of modern medicine. Now, what's really interesting is that tiny number, 0.8%. That's the percentage of healthcare-trained executive assistants in the market. Pearl Talent's ultra-competitive candidate acceptance rate reflects their dedicated healthcare vertical, which completely pre-vets candidates, trains them on AI productivity tools, and reduces hiring costs by up to 60% compared to domestic U.S. salaries. When an agency is accepting less than 1% of its applicants, you're looking at a highly filtered talent pool. Healthcare solutions like these deliver three core advantages. First, train medical staff who understand clinical terminology, zero time spent explaining basic medical workflows. Second, HIPAA compliance systems with built-in security, so EMR access and patient data stay protected. Third, operational support from dedicated success managers who stay involved through onboarding and beyond. The absolute standout feature of agencies like Medva is their origin story. They were actually founded by two practicing physicians in LA. Because of that clinical background, their virtual assistants are primarily registered nurses who already know clinical workflows inside and out. Plus, they offer a really cool, secure facility option for offshore staff to access EMRs completely, all with flexible no long-term contracts. Edge boasts a massive 97.3% client satisfaction with healthcare-focused agencies. Their real superpower for U.S. practices is compliance. Edge actually signs business associate agreements, or BAAs, at a corporate level right on U.S. soil. This is super uncommon in the remote space and provides a massive blanket of legal security for practices. It's actually helped some clinics achieve a 4 times increase in patient flow. Now on to general remote talent platforms, focusing on top-tier global sourcing. Look, sometimes you don't actually need deep clinical knowledge. You just need elite, bulletproof administrative execution. That's exactly where platforms like Persona come in. They cast this massive net across 98 different countries, evaluating over 1,000 candidates for every single hire, just to select the top 0.1%. They handle all the messy payroll and HR stuff, serving everyone from tiny startups all the way to Fortune 500s. Global platforms handle payroll and compliance, but leave healthcare training to you. And again, just like Medva, they do all of this with zero long-term lock-in or contracts. Let's get down to the bottom line. Comparing costs and features. What's the bottom line? This brilliantly illustrates the raw cost differences and the completely different service models out there. Teem offers a flat $1,995 a month rate that's focused heavily on specific healthcare training, includes a dedicated success manager, and comes with built-in performance tracking. Stellar Staff gives you this tiered approach depending on the exact level of expertise you need, ranging from about $1,600 to $1,300. They offer a satisfaction guarantee, but no healthcare training is included. Wing Assistant offers a highly cost-effective option, starting at just $999 for full-time help through what they call an operational ownership model. Let's break these three down really quick. First up, Teem's value. For that $1,995 a month, which roughly breaks down to about $11.50 an hour, you are getting Latin American virtual assistants. That means their time zones align perfectly with your U.S. office hours, which is a huge plus. Before day one even starts, VAs complete Teem University. With a dedicated success manager assigned from the start and built-in performance tracking, practices are reporting saving over 50 hours a month on admin and answering 30% more of their patient calls. Top candidates for medical executive assistant roles undergo rigorous vetting and healthcare training before assignment. Now, if you want totally customizable costs based on how urgently you need someone versus how complex the job is, Stellar Staff's tiered sourcing model is fantastic. A standard VA is $1,599 a month. Need someone to match super fast, like in just 5 days? Their pro tier is $1,799. Or if you need really complex operational oversight, the executive tier sits at $3,199. But regardless of the tier you choose, they pull from a massive pool of over 100,000 screened applicants, and every single hire has to survive over 60 hours of qualification training. Then there's Wing Assistant, taking a totally different, highly managed approach. For $999 a month full-time, they don't just place an assistant and then ghost you. Wing operates on an operational ownership model. That means they manage the performance. They provide backup coverage if your assistant calls in sick, and they oversee quality control using their own proprietary HIPAA-compliant app. It's an incredibly hands-on approach from the agency side, taking a ton of the management burden directly off your shoulders. Executives gain bandwidth to focus on growth and patient care, not administrative overhead. Finally, making the hire and choosing your ideal agency. So, we've looked at all the data, but how do you actually make the right hire for your specific practice? The right agency handles vetting, compliance, and ongoing support so you can focus on patient care. Honestly, it really comes down to your own management capacity. If you want a completely hands-off experience, consider the Pearl Talent Solution. If you're looking for zero administrative friction and literally no ramp-up period, this is it. Starting at $3,000 a month, they give you an end-to-end dedicated recruiter. They handle all the payroll and compliance, and they stay deeply involved with bi-weekly coaching and 30-, 60-, and 90-day milestone reviews just to guarantee the placement is a success. So, the crucial point is this. Do you want a highly managed service like Wing that watches over the daily output for you? Do you want a physician-founded partner like Medva that already speaks your clinical language? Or maybe a premium, concierge-level service like Pearl? The right choice depends entirely on what it's going to take to get your providers away from the paperwork and back to actually caring for patients. As you look at your own back-office bottlenecks today, the final most important question you have to ask yourself is, how much oversight do you want to take on? So if you're ready to stop juggling admin tasks and start scaling your practice with a vetted medical executive assistant, head over to pearltalent.com. You'll find top global talent, healthcare-trained professionals, and a free consultation to match you with the right support. If this was helpful, Like the video and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.